My bad, I forgot to say movie review in the title. But what's going on, guys? GZTV, we're back with another video. And in this video, we are going to be talking about the 1985, like werewolf, vampire, whatever flick called Fright Night. Most people are pretty familiar with this. It's kind of like a cult classic. But this is my first time watching this, so I'm going to give you guys my review on first watch and let you guys know what I think of it. We're going to get through the plot, we're going to get through the reception. Usually these videos are like 15 to 20 minutes, so kind of expect that. 17-year-old Charlie Brewster is the main character. He is a fan of a horror television program called Fright Night. I really like the concept of like a horror fan. I'm kind of like a horror fan myself. So like a horror fan, like his like horror fictitious like fantasies turn into reality. Hosted by former movie vampire hunter Peter Vincent. So one evening, Charlie discovers that his new next-door neighbor, Jerry Dandridge, is a vampire responsible for the disappearances of several victims. And there's a lot of cliches in this movie, like, well, that sounds ridiculous. That's a ridiculous story. Like, all the other characters not believing it. And those are really annoying cliches, but obviously it's realistic, so... Yeah, after telling his mother, Charlie asks his girlfriend Amy Peterson and his friend Evil Ed Thompson for help before contacting the authorities, like giving them advice, like what should I do? There's a vampire living next door. Yeah. So, like, this whole time he's kind of like ignoring his girlfriend's love and trying to go after this. Because he probably likes horror more than he likes his girlfriend, like, let's be honest. Detective Lennox goes with Charlie to Jerry's house to question him, but his roommate, Billy Cole, tells him that Jerry is away on business and that he won't be there, so he's kind of like dodging. I'm pretty sure as a vampire you're not going on vacation, so I'm pretty sure Dandridge is in the house, but Billy Cole is trying to like thwart them out of the house and to keep the feds off of him. Charlie reveals his suspicions about Jerry's vampirism, and Lennox leaves, furious. He's like, come on, what the hell is this story? And he's kind of like joking with Billy Cole. So he's on the vampire side, which is kind of fucked up because it all kind of crumbles down as the story continues. Let's see here. Charlie definitely could have handled this situation a little better. The authorities might have believed him if he would have just... he's a vampire. Like, you can't just get straight into, like, the ridiculous shit that no one's gonna believe. You gotta make it believable. That night, Charlie is shocked to see Jerry inside his house. So this is the first time the vampire's actually, like, attacking him. Having been invited in by Charlie's mother. So, like, her inviting him over for, like, some romantic stuff turns into him attacking her son, which is kind of fucked up. Later, Jerry visits Charlie and offers him a choice. Ignore his vampire activities or else. Or else it's going to be your fate, your mother's fate, all of that. He's, like, putting all of his family at risk by, like, messing with vampires. Like, but, he's watched a little too much of Peter Vincent. He's like, no, I got to do something. I got to play hero here. Charlie refuses, brandishing a crucifix at Jerry. Now, obviously, like the vampires and stuff, the rule is if you hold a crucifix to them, it burns their skin, and they're like considered demons of sorts, almost like spirits, like possessing these humans, like kind of, When Jerry tries to push him out the window to his death, Charlie stabs Jerry's hand with a pencil, like being resourceful, kind of looking around, trying to find some stuff to attack him with. He finds a pencil, he stabs him, he gets out of the situation. Jerry destroys Charlie's car in retaliation and threatens Charlie over the telephone, like he's getting his get back, like he's going after Charlie. Like Charlie's caused some problems, it's gonna be bad for him. So Charlie turns to Peter Vincent for help, but Peter dismisses Charlie as an obsessed fan. He's like, you want my autograph? And Charlie's like, no, I genuinely want your help. Like, I have vampires attacking me. My life is on the line. I know it's a movie, but you kind of know the rules with vampires. And now that this thing's kind of like a reality in my life, you should be able to help me, right? And obviously Peter just like brushes him to the side as like a non-serious thing, like a fan just like playing a prank on him. Obviously him being like a local celebrity, like stuff like this has probably happened to him numerous times, right? Amy, fearing for Charlie's sanity and safety, which is really stupid because when movie characters I don't know. There's just this trope, like, oh, you're going insane. Like, you think there's vampires out there? It's so annoying because, like, if you don't have proof that there's not vampires out there, then why the hell are you, like, trying to pledge insanity for someone else? He hires the destitute Peter to prove that Jerry is not a vampire by having him drink what they claim is holy water. But it is only tap water. So once the vampire knows that it's just tap water, it's not going to get to his head. Like, that's stupid. Why did Peter tell him it was tap water? Jerry has claimed to Peter that drinking actual holy water would be against his religious convictions. Yeah, it's tap water. Oh, it's against my religion. Like, he's just trying to give excuses to, like, get out of the situation and just to have tap water, not holy water. Like, what the hell even is holy water anyway? Like, what makes holy water holy water? I don't know. Who knows? Peter discovers Charlie is right about Jerry's true nature after glancing in his pocket mirror and noticing Jerry's lack of reflection, causing him to accidentally drop the mirror. Peter then flees, but Jerry learns of his discovery after finding a shard of mirrored glass on the floor. He's like, uh-oh, they're getting suspicious, they're getting on our case, now it's time to go after them, like, for real this time. So Vincent, like, deep down, he doesn't want to frighten anyone else, but he, like, believes Peter. He's like, oh, shit, yeah, you're right. So Jerry hunts down Ed and turns him into a vampire. Then Ed proceeds to visit Peter and tries to attack him, only to be warded off when burned by a crucifix to the forehead. So now Ed has become one of the vampires. When you get bit, obviously you become a vampire. It's kind of like a zombie apocalypse type of thing. So Ed is the first one kind of plagued with this. Meanwhile, Jerry chases Charlie and Amy into a nightclub. So they go to this party, try to get into a crowd of people, try to kind of evade the vampire. While Charlie tries to call the police, Jerry hypnotizes and abducts Amy, who resembles Jerry's lost love, and invites her. Like, they have, like, a picture. They kind of, like, worship a girl that looks like this. This is, like, his dream girl. So, yeah, Amy gets taken to their place. They bite her, and now she is under the vampire curse. So, yeah. And like, Amy was kind of showing the hots for Jerry, like, while they were at his house. So obviously she was easily going to be lured in. With nowhere left to turn, Charlie attempts to gain Peter's help once more. Like, dude, you gotta help me. Like, this is my last chance. Like, I'm losing everybody. I could lose my mother. I could lose my own life. Like, you need to help me. Fright and Peter initially refuses, but then reluctantly resumes his vampire killer mode. He's like, look, I gotta help this kid. Like, he sees me as an icon. Like, I'm a role model to him. Like, I gotta help him out. Entering Jerry's house, the two are able to repel Jerry using a crucifix, though only Charlie's works, since he has faith in its spiritual power. Like, Peter kind of has, like, this fear. So when Charlie does it, he's passionate about it. He's like, using the crucifix, and it actually means something. And that's when the vampires take full effect. Billy appears and knocks Charlie over the banister, while Peter flees to Charlie's house, trying to, like, warn his mother of what's happening. Like, you gotta go. There he is surprised by Ed, who attacks him in the form of a wolf. This is weird. Like, the creatures they become is very confusing. Only to be pierced through the heart with a broken table leg held by Peter. So he's resourceful. He finds something. He wards off Ed once more. Removing the stake from Ed's body, Peter goes to rescue Charlie and battle Jerry. Like, he has to be the hero. He's the hero in the TV shows. He needs to be the hero now. So Charlie is locked in with Amy, who is slowly transforming into a vampire. Like, she's just been bit, and she's, like, going through the phases of, like, becoming a vampire and whatnot. So Peter frees him before she awakens. And says the process can be reversed if they destroy Jerry before dawn. If they, like, kill him before dawn. Billy confronts Charlie and Peter and was revealed to be undead, which is interesting. They destroy Billy, who melts into goo and sand, like one of those, like, 80s CGI effects. I mean, I can brush past it. I think the story's good enough to kind of ignore that stuff. It's just really weird. Why the fuck would an undead person be turned into goo and sand? Who knows? It's not fucking Thanos. It's not fucking Ghostbusters. I don't know what's going on. Peter is able to lure the overconfident Jerry in front of a window using a crucifix, which now works due to his renewed faith in its abilities. Like, he finally has the pride to, like, take down these vampires. He's like, I, Peter Vincent. Just kidding. He doesn't say that. As the sun rises, Jerry transforms into a bat and attacks Peter and Charlie before fleeing to his coffin in the basement, where all the dead vampires are being held, pretty much. Charlie and Peter pursue Jerry. The latter breaks open Jerry's coffin and tries to stake him through the heart, while Charlie fights off Amy, who has almost completed her transformation to become like this really creepy looking, like you see in the movie poster. That's like the full transformation. By breaking the blacked out windows in the basement, Peter and Charlie expose Jerry to the sunlight, destroying him and returning Amy to her human form. Now, obviously, you guys know like the myth of like vampires. It's like if they get revealed light, they get destroyed. That's what happens. So, a few nights later, Peter returns to his Fright Night TV series and announces a hiatus from vampires, presenting a film about alien invaders instead. So, given that the vampires turned to reality, you can only assume that, oh shit, now it's aliens attacking him. They could have made a sequel to this with aliens. I thought that would have been cool. I don't know if they did or not. I'm just saying that would be a good idea. So, Charlie and Amy watch the program as they embrace in bed. Charlie gets up to turn off the TV and glimpses red eyes in Jerry's now vacant house and dismisses him. He's like, okay, yeah. Unbeknownst to both Charlie and Amy, a new neighbor has just moved in, and we're assuming it's a fucking alien. Yeah, that opens up for a sequel. I don't know if there is a sequel, but yeah. Let's talk about the critical reception. Not a lot of critical reception. I don't think this is a super popular movie. Maybe this video won't be that long. So obviously critical acclaim, 82% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes. I feel like that's kind of inflated. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's a little over, like, Rotten Tomatoes overrates a lot of movies, gives it a lot of benefit of the doubt. I don't think this is a great movie by any means. It's just a really fun movie to watch, like, if you're into 80s flicks. 7.1 out of 10 based on 60 reviews. Fright Night definitely combines thrills and humor in this ghostly tale about a man living next to a vampire. A horror fan, like, he watches his horror movies and they turn to reality, which I hope that never happens to me, but it could, I guess. Robert Ebert, 3 out of 4 stars. He's from the Chicago Sun-Times. He's a very famous, very infamous movie reviewer. Fright Night is not a distinguished movie, but it has a lot of fun being undistinguished. Like, obviously, it's not really different. It's kind of like cliche in a way, but it's pretty good still. Sarandon's performance, he is terrific as the vampire, quite affable and debonair until his fingernails start to grow and his eyes got that glow. Like, he's a very charming guy. Like, he lures people in, and he's like the perfect person to kind of play the vampire role in this movie, almost. White Dwarf, the writer for White Dwarf, Colin Greenland, didn't like the movie. There was only a couple people that didn't really like the movie. We may be justified in suspecting that a film which has such contempt for its characters has contempt for its audience too. Interesting. Tom Holland is actually a movie director, not just an actor. I'm just kidding. It's the old Tom Holland. But, won a Saturn Award for Best Horror Film, for Best Supporting Actor, for Best Writing. It's a pretty successful, it's pretty fucking successful. Like, a lot of people like this movie. I think it's pretty good for its time. It came out nearly 40 years ago, like, pretty close. I think it's pretty good for a movie of its time. I don't have a lot to say. Obviously, this is shorter than a decent amount of my other movie reviews, but we will have a movie review tomorrow. There's just not that much to say about this movie. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, nothing, really, there's not a lot of plot twists. Like, it kind of goes the way you expect, but it's still really good in doing that. It's still a good cliche movie. It does everything it needs to do, everything it's expected to do.